ILF limbs, guys. ILF limbs. They seem deceptively cool and sexy, but in the end, any bow that's got ILF on it, ILF riser plus ILF limbs, is inherently noisy. And everybody's trying to figure out ways that they can actually quiet that bow down. Today in this video, I'm going to show you my little technique, and it involves nothing but these little felt pads installed at the contact points. Let's go take a look. I hope you guys can hear me. I've got a brand new phone. What I wanted to show you guys is the technique that I use to actually silence my ILF limbs. And what I showed you guys back in the house was that I use those little felt pads that people put on the bottom of their furniture. Those actually work really well, or on knickknacks that go on shelves to keep the shelves from getting scratched and stuff. If you put those on the contact points where the ILF limb makes contact with the ILF riser, you'll be surprised at how quiet it gets, how fast. And you don't have to even worry about any of these little rubber grommets that you put on here. That actually does far, far less to silence the bow than actually looking at those little pieces. So let me take the string off, and we're gonna pop the limb really quick. Hold on. All right, guys, here's what I want you to key on ILF limbs. Listen to this. You hear that? That's why ILF limbs are loud. Now there's another reason why they're loud. It's that everybody thinks that when you put the bow under tension with a bowstring that this all disappears, but it doesn't. There's a moment at the release where, as the arrow leaves the shelf, as the bowstring starts to move forward towards the target, that the bowstring actually undergoes zero tension. For a brief moment, the whole bow is just sitting there rattling, and then the tension pops back because the limbs catch up with the string, and suddenly there's this little click, or there's a big click if you've got ILF limbs. So what you guys got to do is try to find a way to actually silence the contact points right here. Let's take a look at what that looks like. I'm going to just pop this out. And now what I want you to see is what I've done. I just put two little pads right here on both sides. Now, I have a rubber grommet here, but actually, guys, what I found is it works even better to put pads right on this surface, right underneath. There's a pad right there, and I'll put a pad right there. And that actually does a better job than this grommet does. It's cold, I won't do it today. But what you end up doing then is that when this makes contact down here, when this pad makes contact with the ILF fitting down inside there, even at the moment the bowstring is moving forward and the limbs can't catch up, so the string goes, you can see it in slow motion. You'll actually see the string make a wobble in the air. It literally has zero tension for a brief moment in time. You'll see that the contact points on the pads actually will be what silence the bow and keep it quiet. So that those pads together with some string silencers of any kind, you guys have seen this in my most recent video, those two things are going to silence the limbs and silence the bowstring, and you're going to end up with a pretty darn quiet ILF bow that's going to please you. So let me go get it strung up and we'll shoot a little bit. A couple of shots. I don't want you guys really watching where I'm shooting. I want you listening. I want you to hear how quiet this ILF bow ends up being just because of these two techniques. Those little felt pads placed right on the contact points between the ILF limb and the ILF riser, and a couple of string silencers just whipped on. It's actually really breezy out today. It's freezing, winds coming out of the north. Where? Here goes. Did you see how quiet that was? It went neat. That was it. That was it. That was all you got. Neat. No twang, no thwack, no rattle. Listen really close. can live with that. If you were indoors and you had to shoot at a competition and you were using an ILF bow, instead of standing next to a bunch of people where you hear this thwack, thwack, thwack in the lane next to you, driving everybody crazy, this thing's dead silent. Hitting the bag made a bigger noise than the bow did. One more and then I'm done. Two more and I'm done. Gosh, it's cold out. Last one. You can hear, you hear that? My silencers are still losing a little bit of their fur. But you see how quiet that is? I could make it quieter one little bit more. If I wanted to whip this top with the same kind of Navajo thread that I have up here, there's a little bit of string slap here, brand new string that I got. It's got a little bit of wax on it so I can hear it's making that little bit of slap on the edge, and that's about it. But what I want you guys to pay attention to is this. This is super quiet now. That when the bowstring releases, when this goes limp for a moment, when it goes loose and wants to rattle, that little felt inside the contact point is what actually fills the gap and prevents a click from actually happening. That's what you want to try. Give it a try. It's super cheap. You don't have to worry about rubber washers or anything. This is Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We'll see you out there. Bye. Cut. Clear. All right, let's continue with this video where I'm replacing my rubber grommets or my rubber bushings here, which are trying to silence things. What happens, guys, is that even this in cold weather will start to get stiff, and if it's stiff, it'll rattle. It's not going to actually, it's not going to dampen anything out. It's going to get so stiff that it acts like a regular hard washer, so that you're way better off just putting these little guys on right underneath the contact points. Let's pop out the limb and see where we're going to put these. We just need a couple. We need one right here, and we need one right here. And that's going to sit underneath the rubber here, and then I can take that rubber off, and I'll end up with two contact points on the bottom. And you can see they're already making contact. And actually, there's a chance I might put two more right here. Let's see if I can do this. I don't have a tripod to hold all of this up, but it's really simple. Hold on. All right, that took about 5 seconds, guys. I've got two little pads right there. Then on the flip side, I've got two more pads and two more pads down by the button that does the centering. So that if we slip it on, let's see what that looks like. I don't know if I can do this. Okay, we slip it on, just goes like this. But the point is that now all of this space is being taken up with padded material, so that you see it's a lot quieter. It's not going to be rattling a lot. Let's do it on the other side. Take this rubber grommet off. I buckled just like everybody. I see somebody else using a rubber one. I give it a rubber a try, but I find out that stuff doesn't work. I do it way better with these little felt buttons from, I don't know, Menards. 1, 2. They don't go anywhere. That's what's cool. I mean, once you put them on, I mean, they're pinched in there. They're not going anywhere. Another one. 2, 3. They just never come out. There. I want to reposition this one a little bit further on the end. Yeah, I like that better. So now it's a little closer to the end right here. And here we go. Pop this one on. Yeah, very nice. That's it, guys. That's all it is. Give your little give your little felt pads a try. As far as silencing your ILF riser and your ILF limbs, it's all about trying to take up that space between the two fittings and to give to find a way to damp that contact out so that it's not metal on metal. It's not fiberglass on metal. Instead, it's going to be felt. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See ya. All right, last thing I'm going to show you is how to whip the end with a little bit of extra padding. Let's see if I can get this done. We're going to need a loop like this. We're just going to need a piece of twine, Navajo twine. The whole idea is that I want to pad this a little bit so that if it makes contact with the limb surface right here, it's padded a little bit. It's just a little quieter. And it does make a difference. So, tying it on, you start laying it on like this, and then you tie it on. Just wrap it tight, 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 tight. I want to get down about as wide as my hand, my palm. Getting it down. Now right about here, I'm 5 wraps from being done. I'm going to actually add this in. And I'm going to actually wrap over the top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to take this end, just put it in there just a little bit. Give this a tug. It comes through on the other side, and then you tighten it. And you end up with a really nice little knot. It's not going to go anywhere. Then we can just trim it off. Little doodad on there. There. Let's do the other side. Probably can reuse this. Start about 1 inch. Pinch it with your thumb. You're going to come back over the top of it. Over, 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 over. And you don't have to worry about the mass in the bowstring, like you're adding an additional mass. This part of the string moves so little, guys, it doesn't make a difference. This part of the bowstring moves like this. So its mass doesn't matter. It just doesn't. It's all about silencing it. Let's see. There. Need to put our loop in. One, 2, 3, 4. Slip the 5th one inside the loop. Give it a tug. There. And trim it off a little bit. That's it. Let's put all this back on the bow and see what it sounds like. Let's see. See if I'm still recording. Oddly enough, I am. Okay, we're looking for the bottom of the string. Got to add a couple twists in here because a couple of my twists came out while I was doing this. I got to shorten the string a little bit so my brace height is okay. Looks pretty good. Notice all right here now, there's a little bit of padding. Right here, there's a little bit of padding. These from the previous video, these are adjustable. So I can adjust these a little bit. I can slide them to get good performance. Superior damping. How cool is that? Let's see what it sounds like. Yeah, not bad. All right, hope you guys like that video. How to silence your ILF limbs. It's actually really, really quiet when I'm out on the range, indoor. That's it. Cut.